Welcome to my channel, Valuable Rare Coin, where small US coins hold big value. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and discover hidden treasures in your change. Let's dive in. First, we are about to uncover one of the most mysterious, iconic, and extremely rare coins in American numismatic history, the United States Barber one-dime coin from the year 1894. This is not just another old coin. This is a dime wrapped in history, surrounded by secrets and coveted by collectors who would go to great lengths just for a chance to hold one in their hands. If you're passionate about rare coins, vintage US minting, and treasure hunting, then listen very carefully, because the story of the 1894 Barber dime is something you absolutely do not want to miss. The Barber dime, named after its designer Charles E. Barber, was minted from 1892 to 1916. The 1894 edition, however, stands apart from all the rest. It was struck during a year when the San Francisco Mint was operating with very low mintage for dimes. And here's the unbelievable part: only 24 pieces were ever minted. That's right, just 24 dimes bearing the 1894 date were produced, making this one of the rarest regular issue coins ever released by the United States Mint. Imagine that, in a country that produced millions of dimes every year, this coin was made in such a limited quantity, it became a ghost among collectors. A true American legend. There are several theories as to why only 24 of these coins were minted. Some experts believe it was due to bookkeeping adjustments at the San Francisco Mint, while others speculate that it was a special favor done for wealthy coin collectors or mint employees. And the mystery doesn't end there. It is widely believed that only 9 to 12 of these coins still exist today, which makes each known specimen incredibly valuable and highly sought after. Every time an 1894 Barber dime appears at auction, it creates shockwaves across the coin collecting world. Now let's talk about what makes this coin so visually unique and how collectors can identify it. The obverse features the classic Barber profile of Liberty wearing a Phrygian cap and laurel wreath, along with the words United States of America and the year 1894. The reverse displays a beautiful wreath surrounding the word one dime. But the most important detail is that tiny S mint mark under the wreath, which signifies that it was struck at the San Francisco Mint. That small letter carries enormous weight, because it's the key to identifying one of the rarest coins in American history. Since so few of these coins were ever made, minting errors on the 1894 Barber dime are practically non-existent. But that doesn't mean they're any less valuable. In fact, their extreme rarity and the importance of preserving original detail make condition absolutely critical. The value of one of these coins skyrockets when it's in mint state condition or features full, sharp details on Liberty's head and the reverse wreath. Because these coins are over 100 years old, even lightly circulated examples are considered extraordinary. But those that have survived in near-perfect condition are simply priceless. Auction houses have seen fierce bidding wars over this legendary coin. One of the most famous sales occurred when an 1894 Barber dime in superb condition appeared at auction with full documentation and historic provenance. Bidders from around the world joined the event, collectors, museums, and investors all competing for the chance to own this national treasure. And after an intense round of bids, the final sale price stunned everyone in the room. This single dime, just 10 cents by face value, sold for a staggering $175,000. Yes, you heard that right, $175,000 for a coin that could fit in the palm of your hand. That's the power of rarity, beauty, and history combined. So, what does this mean for you? Could one of these legendary coins be sitting in a collection you inherited from a grandparent, or hidden in a forgotten box of old change? It's rare, extremely rare, but not impossible. If you ever come across an 1894 Barber dime with the S mint mark, do not hesitate. Get it authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC immediately, because you might just be looking at one of the most valuable coins in American history. And if you're a passionate collector looking to expand your knowledge and sharpen your eye for rare finds, this coin is the perfect example of how understanding history and minting details can lead you to incredible discoveries. Even though the 1894 Barber dime is incredibly rare, It represents the ultimate dream for collectors everywhere, the hope that one day, they too might stumble upon a hidden gem that changes everything. Second rare coin, we're diving into the timeless elegance and hidden riches of the United States Mercury 1 dime coin from the year 1937. This is not just any silver coin, it's one of the most admired and collectible dimes in US history. So coin lovers, listen carefully, because the coin we're about to explore could be sitting in your collection, your old change jar, or even tucked away in a relative's keepsake box, and if it has the right features, it could be worth a small fortune. The Mercury dime, also known as the Winged Liberty Head dime, was minted from 1916 to 1945. Designed by the legendary Adolph A. Weinman, the obverse features Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought. Many people mistake her for the Roman god Mercury, hence the popular nickname. The 1937 issue is particularly prized among collectors because it was struck during a time of economic recovery in the United States, and the quality of coins from this period often showcase stunning detail and craftsmanship. If you're lucky enough to come across one of these dimes in high condition or with special errors, you could be holding something incredibly rare and valuable. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1937 Mercury dime is the potential for rare minting errors, which dramatically increase its value. Among the most desirable errors is the double die obverse, where elements like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date 1937 appear slightly doubled. This doubling is visible to the naked eye in some cases and, under magnification, becomes unmistakable. Coins with this kind of doubling are in very high demand because they reflect a minting flaw that's both visually striking and historically significant. It's these kinds of rare characteristics that send collectors into a frenzy. Another highly collectible error found in some 1937 Mercury dimes is the off-center strike, where the coin is not properly aligned during minting. This results in a design that's shifted, with part of it missing from the edge. The more dramatic the shift, especially if the full date remains visible, the more valuable the coin becomes. Each off-center error is completely unique, making them appealing to collectors who want one-of-a-kind pieces in their collections. Add in strong detail and minimal wear, and the price can climb quickly. Let's not forget the importance of full bands on the reverse of the Mercury dime, an incredibly important detail for value. The torch on the reverse should have clearly defined horizontal bands at the top and bottom. When both sets of bands are fully separated and sharply struck, the coin earns the coveted FB full bands designation. For the 1937 Mercury dime, full bands in mint state condition are rare and highly sought after. Finding one is like striking silver treasure, literally. The 1937 Mercury dime also has versions minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, and San Francisco, S mint mark. Of these, certain mints in higher grades are more difficult to find, especially with full bands. A coin graded MS67 or above with full bands is the holy grail for Mercury dime collectors. The combination of brilliant luster, perfect strike, and original mint detail makes these coins glow in any collection and stand out in any auction house catalog. Now let's talk real numbers. At a recent elite auction event, a 1937 Mercury dime in mint state 68, certified by PCGS and featuring full bands, was presented to an eager group of high-profile collectors and investors. This particular specimen also had a minor yet confirmed double die error on the obverse, a rare and exciting twist. As soon as the coin hit the auction block, bids flew in from around the world. Everyone recognized this coin's historical importance, artistic beauty, and extreme rarity. After an intense bidding war, the final hammer came down at a breathtaking total. The coin sold for $160,000. That's right, $160,000 for a coin that originally had a face value of just 10 cents. Now imagine this. What if you have one of these coins right now, sitting unnoticed in your collection? It's entirely possible. Mercury dimes were widely circulated for decades, and many people still have old rolls or jars of silver coins handed down from grandparents. So start your treasure hunt today. Look closely at your 1,937 dimes. Check for sharp details, off-center designs, doubling in the text, or those all-important full bands on the torch. And if you find something promising, don't wait, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC to get it authenticated and graded. That one step could reveal a life-changing surprise. Third expensive coin, we're talking about the United States 1 dime coin from the year 1967. At first glance, it might look like just another everyday Roosevelt dime, but under the right conditions and with the right features, this tiny coin could be one of the most valuable pieces in your collection. So grab your magnifying glass, hold onto your seat, and listen carefully, because what you're about to learn could turn your ordinary change into a life-changing discovery. The 1967 Roosevelt dime was minted during a significant period in U.S. coinage history. Just 2 years earlier, in 1965, the U.S. Mint transitioned from using 90% silver in dimes to a copper-nickel-clad composition. That makes the 1967 dime one of the early examples of this new material. But what most people don't know is that some extremely rare and unusual versions of this coin exist, coins that slipped through the cracks at the mint, carrying unique errors or features that now make them some of the most sought-after collectibles in the numismatic world. One of the most fascinating things about the 1967 dime is the presence of striking errors that can dramatically increase its value. Collectors search high and low for coins with double die obverse errors. This means that during minting, the die shifted slightly between strikes, creating a doubling effect in key design elements like the date 1967, the word liberty, and in God we trust. These coins are not only visually distinct, but are incredibly desirable because they show a flaw in the minting process that is very rare and highly collectible. Another valuable error is the off-center strike, which results when the coin isn't aligned properly during minting. This creates a coin with the design pushed to one side, sometimes cutting off portions of the outer rim or lettering. A 1967 dime that is off-center by more than 40%, especially with the full date still visible, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. And if that same coin has sharp details and bright luster, the value skyrockets. There's also the rare but powerful clipped planchet error, where a piece of the metal blank was accidentally cut off before the coin was struck. This leaves the coin with a crescent-shaped clip that's easy to spot and extremely collectible. Even more exciting are die cap errors, where a coin becomes lodged in the press and continues to strike more planchets, creating a distorted and dramatic shape. These coins are not only unique, but also incredibly valuable, as each one tells a story of a rare and unusual minting event. Now, let's talk about condition, because as with all coins, grade matters. A 1967 dime in mint state condition, meaning it was never circulated, already carries more value than a worn one. But if it's graded MS67 or higher by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC, you're looking at a very rare and desirable piece. The ultimate goal for collectors is to find a 1967 dime that's both high-grade and contains a major error. That's the magical combination that can turn an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. So how do you identify if you have one of these gems? Start by checking the coin's surfaces under good lighting. Look for signs of doubling in the text or numbers. Examine the edges for unusual shapes or clips. If the coin looks off-centered or shows ghostly impressions from another die, that's a big clue. Even subtle differences can matter, and that's why using a 10x magnifier or loupe is essential for any serious collector. And if you think you've found something special, don't hesitate, send it in for grading. You might be sitting on a treasure, and here's the real kicker. At a recent high-end coin auction, a spectacular 1967 Roosevelt dime took the stage. This coin featured a bold double die obverse, stunning mirror-like fields, and a near-perfect MS68 grade from PCGS. After intense bidding from collectors around the globe, the final hammer price came down, and the coin sold for an astonishing $200,000. Yes, a coin worth just 10 cents when it was minted became a six-figure collectible because of its rarity, condition, and historical importance. So, could you have a 1967 dime like this hiding in your change in an old coin jar? Or tucked away in a family heirloom collection? The answer is yes, it's possible. These rare coins are out there, and new discoveries are being made every year by sharp-eyed collectors just like you. All it takes is one lucky find to change everything. Especially, we're diving deep into the story of the United States one-dime coin from the year 1980 with the P mint mark. This coin might seem ordinary at first glance, but if it carries the right features, it could be one of the most valuable and rare dimes in circulation today. So listen closely, collectors. You don't want to miss this. The 1980 P. Roosevelt dime was minted in Philadelphia and represents a crucial era in U.S. coinage, a time when the U.S. Mint had fully transitioned to a copper-nickel clad composition and silver dimes were long out of circulation. Over 735 million of these dimes were produced that year, so it's easy to think that they're all common. But hidden within those millions are a few incredibly rare and exceptional coins, and if you're lucky enough to find one with the right condition or minting error, its value could skyrocket into the tens of thousands of dollars. One of the main reasons certain 1980 P dimes are so valuable is due to rare minting errors that occurred during production. The most sought after of these is the double die obverse, where the lettering and numbers appear to be slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the die engraving process. This error is often visible in the words Liberty, In God We Trust, or in the date 1980. Collectors go wild for this kind of doubling, especially when it's crisp and obvious to the naked eye. If you spot a doubled image on your 1980 dime, it could be a sign you're holding a rare treasure. Another extremely valuable error found on some 1980 P dimes is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin blank isn't perfectly centered during the strike, causing part of the design to be shifted or cut off. The more off-center the strike, especially if the date remains visible, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. These coins often catch the eye instantly and are especially popular with collectors because each one is entirely unique. You should also be on the lookout for clipped planchets, which are dimes that were struck on incomplete blanks, giving them a crescent moon-shaped bite along the edge. Another error to watch for is the broad strike, where the coin is struck outside the retaining collar, causing it to spread wider than normal without the traditional rim. Both of these errors are rare and can dramatically increase a coin's value when found in uncirculated condition, but even without errors, condition is everything. A 1980 P dime in pristine, mint state condition, especially those graded MS67 or higher, becomes significantly more valuable. These coins shine with full luster, flawless surfaces, and sharp details. And if the reverse features full bands, clear, separate horizontal lines across the torch, the value increases even more. This detail, often worn down quickly in circulation, is a clear sign of a sharp, high-quality strike and is highly prized among Roosevelt dime collectors. Let's talk about the marketplace. Recent coin auctions have shown just how much demand there is for top-quality and error 1980 P dimes. One particular dime, graded MS68 with full bands by PCGS, caught the attention of collectors worldwide. On top of its remarkable condition, the coin featured a slight doubling in the motto, which sent interest soaring. Bidding was fierce, and in the end, the final sale price stunned even the experts. That one dime, just 10 cents face value, sold for a jaw-dropping $60,000. That's right, $60,000 for a coin you might have once passed by in a handful of change. So what should you do now? Simple. Check your change, check your drawers, and check your old coin jars. Look closely at every 1980 dime with the Philadelphia Mint mark. Examine the lettering for doubling, check the edges for off-center strikes or clips, and look for brilliant, uncirculated surfaces with sharp torch lines. If anything looks unusual or in pristine condition, consider getting it professionally graded. That small investment could reveal a hidden gem worth thousands. Last unique coin, we're diving deep into the incredible and often overlooked world of the United States one-dime coin from the year 2001 with the Philadelphia Mint mark. It's a modern coin, yes, but what lies beneath the surface can turn this tiny piece of change into a small fortune. So, collectors, listen carefully and enjoy every moment, because this video might just lead you to discover a coin that could change everything. The 2001 P. Roosevelt dime was minted in huge numbers at the Philadelphia Mint. Over 1.3 billion of them were produced that year. With a mintage like that, it's easy to assume they're all common. But the world of coin collecting is never that simple. Hidden among these everyday coins are a handful of rare and unique examples, coins with unusual minting errors, stunning condition, or a striking flaw that transforms them from pocket change into highly valuable collectibles. And yes, some of these coins have shocked collectors by selling for thousands at auction. One of the most exciting aspects of the 2001 P dime is the presence of rare mint errors that make certain examples incredibly desirable. Among the most sought after is the double die obverse error. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin becomes misaligned during the minting process, resulting in doubled letters or numbers. Look closely at Liberty, In God We Trust, or even the date 2001. If you see any clear doubling, you might be staring at a major error, one that could fetch serious money from collectors hungry for unique pieces. Another major error to watch out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't perfectly centered during the minting process, resulting in a dramatic visual shift. Part of the coin's design may be missing, and when the date remains visible on an off-center coin, its rarity and value shoot up significantly. These coins are easy to spot and are always in high demand because each one is unique. A coin struck 50% off-center with sharp detail is a collector's dream. Now let's talk about another rare and exciting error, the clipped planchet. A clipped planchet occurs when the blank metal disc that becomes a coin is improperly cut, leaving a visible crescent or bite on the coin's edge. These errors are extremely collectible, especially when they're clean, well-formed clips. On a 2001 P dime, a clipped planchet in uncirculated condition can draw massive interest at auctions and among private collectors alike. Even without these errors, coin condition plays a huge role in value. Coins that were never circulated and have perfect surfaces, strong luster, and sharp strike details are classified as mint state, MS. For Roosevelt dimes, the holy grail is a coin graded MS-68 or higher, especially when it displays full torch bands on the reverse. These full bands, the clearly defined horizontal lines across the torch, are often worn down quickly in circulation, so when they're present and sharp, they show that the coin had an exceptionally strong strike. And collectors love that. Let's turn our attention to what really lights up the collector market: auction results. In a recent coin auction, a beautifully preserved 2001 P dime caught the attention of experts and collectors across the country. It featured brilliant uncirculated surfaces, deep luster, and full torch bands. But what really set it apart was a bold die error that made this coin a standout. The coin was professionally graded and authenticated by PCGS as an MS-68 with full bands, and when the final bid came in, the coin sold for an astounding $30,000. That's right, a coin that most people wouldn't even bother to pick up off the sidewalk turned into a high-value treasure. So now it's your turn. Could there be a valuable 2001 P dime sitting in your change jar, your wallet, or an old coin collection at home? The answer is absolutely. These coins are still out there, waiting to be discovered by sharp-eyed collectors like you. So take the time to examine your coins carefully. Look for doubling in the design, off-center strikes, clipped edges, or coins in stunning, uncirculated condition. Every coin tells a story, and some of them might be telling you they're worth far more than just 10 cents, and we want to hear from you. Have you found a 2001 dime with something unusual? Have you come across a coin with an error or in flawless condition? Drop a comment below and share your discovery with our growing community of collectors. We love hearing your stories and helping fellow enthusiasts learn, grow, and uncover amazing finds together. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell so you never miss another treasure hunting episode. Thank you for joining us today, and always remember, the humble 2001 P. Roosevelt dime might just hold a hidden surprise. With the right error, the right condition, and the right collector's eye, it could be worth an incredible $30,000. Stay curious, keep hunting, and happy collecting!